Greetings, Guardians. Welcome to the Voice of the Vanguard. Today I have with me Sully from Sully Games. Say hello, Sully.
Hello, Guardians.
And today we are going to be talking about the things that we've been doing in Destiny, TWAB, regarding the ghosts. And our main concern, or our main topic, is concerns for Destiny 2 Beyond Light. So we'll go in that order. So, Sully, what have you been up to in the world of Destiny?
I'm trying to think. I'm playing a lot of Crucible this week, actually. For some reason, I've been getting kind of like that Crucible itch. So then I saw Momentum Control was up live, so I was like, I'm gonna knock out Jade Rabbit while this is active.
Yeah.
It's about it, I think. Really, just a lot of Crucible this week. Nothing too crazy. Hoping that we can kind of get that Petra's attempt in.
Oh yeah, we're doing that. Isn't it Sunday morning?
I don't know, Saturday. Well, I don't think it'll be Sunday because I won't do it Sunday. But I think I have it. There's an LFG for Saturday, but maybe I'm just crazy.
I don't know.
It is on Sunday. RIP. But yeah, other than that, that's about it.
Football's getting in the way of your destiny, man. You can't let that happen. So yeah, what have I been doing? I've mostly just been playing with you and anyone else that hops on. Yeah, I got all my Crucible bounties done. I'm
Getting
not
that
doing
bright
a whole
dust.
lot. Yeah, earning that bright dust. I spent most of my day yesterday just with multiple browsers open trying to get a PlayStation 5. It was actually like really easy for me to do. Like Best Buy went up. There was a link in the chat that I was in. Went there, grabbed one. All good.
Did you happen to see the 3080?
Yeah, it was on Newegg for $1,000.
Boy, it literally on all websites it went from coming soon to sold out in like a matter of minutes. Like, rip.
I'm in a really good Discord channel now. It's called Video Game Deals Canada, and like the guys there are pretty cool, and there's a lot of really good like auto notifications and stuff for when things go on sale. So if you're Canadian, I definitely recommend checking that out. And if you're American, CAG, Cheap Ass Gamer, they're really good for American stuff. Mm-hmm. Let's get into the TWAB then. Because again, mostly I've just been doing Crucible stuff with you.
Yeah, not a whole lot going on. I think we're all kind of getting a little burnout on Destiny at this point. Just
the season's gone long, and like now we're in the area where like we don't know what's really coming next. Is just Festival of the Lost. That's pretty much it. That's all they have planned, really.
Yeah, which really sucks because this like season was really good, but then it just kind of got
drawn out.
Yeah, hurt because of Beyond Light getting delayed, which like is good because I want them to make sure that game is, or Beyond Light's,
So
polished.
Speaking of Beyond Light, we're gonna get some updates in Beyond Light. One of them is including customizable ghosts.
Yay! Something that we've been talking about for the past few months that we want to see happen.
So in Destiny 2, Beyond Light ghosts will receive a system update which shares some functionality to what was done in with Armor and Shadowkeep. So here's a brief outline of what to expect. Ghost shells will now have energy levels and access to mods with various energy costs instead of being preloaded with specific perks. I read that first and I was like, uh-oh. Are they going to make it like tied to our power level? Because they did that in D1, right? And I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, that's what I saw that too, and I was just like, oh. Which, I mean, I wouldn't have an issue with, but I know a lot of people would.
It's just another thing to grind for, man.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And then next one is this treatment has been applied to all ghost shells outside of the generalist shell, so you can use your favorite ghost shells regardless of tier. So you can use legendaries and exotics, all that stuff. A selection of mods will be available on all Ghost shells by default, while the remaining ones will be obtainable via various gameplay sources. Information on where to find these mods can be learned from the collections. Ghost mods will be obtained from gameplay reward loops and will not be purchasable from Eververse. Ghosts now have 4 mod slots. 3 are unlocked by default, and the 4th one is unlocked by masterwork in the Ghost Shell. So I'm pretty happy about this. We've been talking about this for ages, and so happy that Ghosts are getting an update with this.
Yeah, I completely agree. Because now, like, it makes even if like you can have any shell that you want, because like now like you kind of have to like make sure it has the right perks on it.
I can use like the really cool shells that I could never use before, like the one from I can't remember what it was, but it was one of the events recently where it was just the Traveler.
Oh yeah, that one is freaking. That's like one of my favorite shells. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
And then there's also the Snow Globe one was really cool, but I never used them because the perks on them were trash.
Yeah, they have Guiding Light or Speed Demon or
So now that we can like customize it and put that stuff on, I'm super happy about this.
I am too. I think this is another great step.
So they did say, what is it now? For those wondering what will happen with old Ghost perks, most have been brought forward, largely unchanged, default unlocked mods. In some cases, such as destination-specific materials or cache trackers, those mods have been transformed into global effective and non-destination specific, which thank God, that's awesome. For better utility, energy costs for those mods now reflect the increased flexibility, and the mods must be earned from various vendor engrams. Kill tracker and the Leviathan boss kill perks will remain intrinsic only on those specific ghost shells. Even with these changes, you'll still be able to build most of the popular exotic perk combinations that were available previously, such as Guiding Light and Treasure Hunter, along with a plethora of new combinations. So, this is all well and good, but they did not mention Speed Demon, and I couldn't find Speed Demon anywhere, so I don't know if they're going to be taking that away, or if they're keeping that. They say they're keeping most of them, which I assume they're probably just going to get rid of the faction based ones, like earn an extra faction coin. Yeah, but I don't know about Speed Demon, which kind of worries me. The fact that we didn't get this along with Sparrows makes me think Sparrows are going to stay the same.
Yeah, I don't really. There's not really a reason to like give Sparrows an update unless they would bring back SRL, in my opinion. Like, I don't know, like, you just literally use Sparrows, just in patrols or in between, like, certain areas and strikes, so.
What was else? Is there anything else that I was thinking of?
Think so?
I think that's pretty much it.
They're honoring a friend. So we'll have something happening on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. I just wanted to make sure there's nothing else.
Oh, you're talking about the ghost.
Everybody combination. So they're going to be having Glimmer Boosters, Core Harvesters. There was also one shown in the screenshots. Defeating bosses in Vanguard playlist strikes or Nightfall has a chance to award an enhancement prism. And this mod is fragile and will expire at the end of season 15. So it looks like the seasonal artifact, like some of the mods that we used to get in there, like the Glimmer Boosters and destination materials, stuff like that. It sounds like they're probably removing that from the artifact and putting that into the vendor.
Imagine if they're removing the artifact.
I don't think they're removing the artifact, man. I don't think it's happening. It's too much of a thing now. Until they rework until it reworks champions, I don't think they're going to be removing it. I know they've had issues with the power light and stuff like not working correctly in Iron Banner, but removing it might cause more problems than it might be worth.
Because you could literally make anti-barrier like overload and like that.
Yeah, just make them all weapon mods.
Just make them weapon mods.
So honoring a friend. Let's talk about this. So we have a tribute going on in game to honor one of our dear friends of Vicarious Visions who passed away last year, Matt Helsum. The weekly reset will include a director message that will send you to Mars for a short quest to honor Mr. Helsum. He worked closely with teams at both Bungie and Vicarious Visions on various projects during our partnership, and we wanted to memorialize his contributions in the Destiny universe. And I just thought that was like a really cool way to like honor someone that they've worked with. It's, like, I don't know what the quest is going to be or anything, but like it's a very cool thing that there's no content, and then also like they're just like, hey, we're gonna like honor someone that has worked on this game with us.
It is really cool.
So just moving on then, we have Xbox Game Pass expansion availability on September 22nd. Destiny 2 will become available on Xbox Game Pass, but players won't have access to Forsaken or Shadowkeep. I believe that's going to change once Xbox Series X comes out.
No, they'll get it at 10 a.m. that day. That's when the hotfix goes live. So once the hotfix is finished, then Forsaken and Shadowkeep will...
Oh, okay. Okay, I read that wrong then. Cool. Some other known issues. So earlier today they announced that due to an extended season, clans can no longer gain XP, and Hawthorne's weekly challenge can no longer be completed. Our investigation found that trying to fix this issue would result in all clans losing their earned ranks, though these issues will be fixed on November 10th when Beyond Light launches. That's really crappy, man. Because you're missing out on all those like rewards. Like the most useful reward she gives you is the enhancement cores, which I would forget about going to her. I'm like, oh shit, Hawthorne, and I just run over, get my free 7 cores.
I always forget about her.
Yeah, there's a lot of people we forget about, isn't there? But yeah, it's kind of crazy that the only solution is just to wait until the next season. Like they couldn't figure out anything for this. But another known issue is that Fellwinter's Helm changes the Warlock Solstice ornament glows to another glow. I don't know what that is. I guess Fellwinter's Helm is the exotic. Yeah. I don't know how that changes the ornament glow. That's weird. I should try that. And then what else? Do we have anything in the bottom here? I don't think so.
Just 2 movies of the week. And then Cosmo got LASIK eye surgery, I guess.
Well, good on him. I was thinking about getting it a while back, but I don't think I'm gonna go for it.
I might do it. My ex got it when I was with her, and it was day and night difference for her.
Cool.
So it's expensive though.
So let's head into the meat and potatoes of what we have here this week is the concerns for Beyond Light. The reason I brought this up was because I've been playing with our clanmates, and every time we're playing together, a lot of them are concerned about Beyond Light. And they would tell me things that they were worried about.
What? Concerned?
And I'm right there with them. Like, I do have some concerns and reservations, but like I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a good expansion.
Yeah, I think a lot of the concern comes from our clanmates, and you and I and everybody else is there's a lot of content being taken away.
Yeah, that's the number one thing.
And I think on like a realistic level, like I mean, granted, we do a lot of the old raids in our clan, like, but like, is it really like a bet like losing Spire, like an Eater, like I don't know. It's just like
It's not.
like
It's not. It's
metaphor.
not just losing that stuff. It's the fact that like you've paid for Destiny 2,
Yeah.
and you're losing content that you've paid for.
So.
And also you're losing out on
Yes.
like weapons and armors that you haven't gotten yet, but you might want to. And it's like it's like this weird mad dash to finish everything now.
It is, but for a lot of cases, like a lot of us have had time to do this stuff, but we just procrastinated for so long on not doing the thing. So now that we have 1,000 things to do, so now we all just feel like very overwhelmed because we didn't do the things before.
Yeah, and Demander brings up a good point with concerns are not his concerns are they are not adding enough things into the game compared to what is being taken out. So, for example, like
that we know of.
Yes, this is what we know of. I hope to God this is not what it is, and this is just they're just holding back a bit, which, man, they really need to start showing more stuff. It's getting worrying. But yeah, he says only one Europa strike, only one Cosmodrome strike. No news on new Crucible maps. No news on new Gambit maps.
Cosmodrome or 3.
The strikes, yeah, it's going to be added later though. They said.
Okay.
But like at launch, it's only going to be one. Biggest concern is the weapons. There are so many weapons that won't be viable, and I can't see them adding that many back in. There'll only be one legendary LMG that isn't being sunset, and you can't even get it right now. It's the LMG from last season. Removing 5 raids and only adding in 1. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff, man.
It is. I definitely think that there's something that we don't know in terms of like very similar to like Forsaken when we got the Dreaming City. I think there will be like some type of like surprise destination. And then there's been this like big rumor going around of like another enemy class.
Oh, yeah, alright. I'll scroll all the way back down to get to that.
And like this, and I've been seeing this like pretty heavily, like on like people with Twitter. There's been like YouTube videos saying that this new enemy class is people believe will be arriving with Beyond Light.
Is it the Veil?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. That rumor's been around for so long, and it's because of the fact that they had 4 enemy types to begin with. When they first made the game. I don't know. I don't know what we could see, because honestly, I could see them just doing Fallen and Aramis, and which I think the manager brought this up again, but Aramis isn't really doing it for him, and I could say the same for me. Like, I don't know what it is. I think I just may be racist against Fallen, but I don't really see them as that much of a threat. I don't see them as much as a threat as like a Taken or Hive. I feel like those are the big bad guys.
Not the Cabal.
The Cabal were a threat, but we
what
fucked
do you got
them
against
up.
the Cabal?
We fucked up the Cabal.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's kind of. I don't really want to make a opinion on that until like we actually have like we start to play the story, and I can kind of get like a feel of like everything before I say like, well,
But there's just like nothing there like hyping, like getting you like hyped up or interested in it, you know. It's like they showed off Aramis. She has the power of darkness now. Go kill her. It's like you don't. They didn't reach into any of the backstory stuff that they introduced along the way, which is like the like she was trying to steal Outbreak and stuff like that.
Which sometimes I do like though, because it kind of allows less spoilers when we get into Beyond Light, like, so we know
The only things that
less.
they really showed off was just the new subclasses, which are cool.
Mm-hmm.
They're hype.
Stasis.
And they tell us it's the Deepstone Crypt is the raid. We haven't really. Well, I guess we saw like maybe 1 or 2 shots of it, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And then you see Eris. And that's about it. There's a couple shots here and there, but like you can't really. That's not really establishing much.
Yeah, and we still have basically 2 months for them to kind of like.
Yeah, it's gonna get drawn out. Who knows? Like maybe if they were keeping their original release date, maybe we've seen way more by now.
Probably that's what I think like. But like, cause I mean, Bungie's always done a really good job at like knowing how to like generate hype. So once it gets closer, we'll probably start seeing like more information on a lot of this stuff. But like, you don't want to launch a lot of this information now because, or in the past few weeks, because then that hype kind of dies down. Like, you kind of really, I mean, obviously, like, when a game gets delayed, it really kills hype. But like, when we watched that live stream of Beyond Light, like, I mean, the community was
we were all jazzed.
So hyped.
Yeah.
And then when it got delayed, the hype just literally.
When was that though? Was that like June or July or something?
I think June.
It was so long ago, man.
And I say, obviously, when a game gets delayed, it really kills a lot of the hype. And then I think once it kind of gets closer, Bungie will start pushing the hype button again and start kind of revealing little bit more of probably what we're receiving in terms of story. Hopefully not too much, because I want to go in as surprised as possible.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm not saying show everything, but it's just a little concerning that we're not getting a lot of information, or just any information about what's coming. Like, we haven't even seen like a gameplay. Like we haven't seen anyone like go onto Europa and walk around and shoot stuff. Like, we haven't seen that at all.
I don't know if we've ever really seen that.
We've seen. I remember the first time I've ever saw Destiny. It was like that. There was like a leaked,
like for D1.
Yeah, for D1.
Yeah, but I'm talking just in terms of like expansions. We never really like the most we got to see probably was House of Wolves when they did the live streams of like the expansions. But other than that, like, I don't think we ever really saw like an actual like thing other than like maybe a cut action trailer that they would, similar to like what they would do for Stasis, just whatever on the destination.
Another concern that we have here from Lancelot is his concern with armor and how people have grinded specific sets of armor and they're going to be sunsetted basically. Like they have an expiration date, and I feel like armor is more of a concern than weapons. Personally,
yeah, I don't like the sunsetting armor. Like, to me, that doesn't make sense. Just because, like, to me, it's easier to get a god roll on a weapon than it is to get the stats that you want on your armor.
Yeah, and then taking all the time to masterwork it, getting all those materials.
So I don't have an issue sunsetting weapons, but armor is kind of like one of those things like I felt was kind of odd since day one. Kind of like, I don't necessarily think this should be here unless like for some reason armor got completely reworked. Then I could understand that like in the future, but like for like sunsetting armor, I'm just kind of like, that's kind of an odd move. But
and they've been like doing that here and there with the mods. The more you get down the line in the season, the fewer mods you can use. Yeah.
Which hopefully they kind of do rework Armor 2.0. Like, they need to just make that last mod slot and just it needs to be universal to everything.
I agree. I don't know if they're going to do that though, because they said year 4 Armor is going to have the mods and the others aren't.
Yeah. To me, that kind of just
it baffles me.
Kind of needs. Yeah. That I feel like that would just be simpler for on both ends.
I feel like this is going to be a major issue going. Like, they're not going to like talk about it at all, but there's going to be a point where the Destiny community is going to get like pissed off about it, and then they'll do something about it. Because that's what they seem to do. Is just like, oh, there's a little problem here. Let's just leave it, and then the snowballs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like we're going to be talking about Armor for the next year.
Probably.
Yeah, considering the like at first the raid armor was going to be expired, but then they went, oh shit, we need to make sure it's good for those raids. So then they just brought it forward. What else? Do you remember anything else?
I mean, I said we can go back to weapons. I think this Beyond Light's gonna definitely make and break the future of sunsetting for Destiny and Bungie. If they can come out and produce a ton of weapons and not necessarily have reskins, as we've already kind of seen a reskin of a weapon with the last week's TWAB with what looked to be like basically a beloved.
Yeah, beloved with a scarf.
Yeah. But if they can generate a ton of weapons in this, I think we'll continue to see sunsetting. But if there is very limited weapons, I think that will hurt and kill Beyond Light more than anything. Over even if like the raid is fantastic / story is fantastic, if they can't produce the loot in this game, it will kill Beyond Light.
Yeah, and I remember seeing that. I'm looking at Baz's comments here. What he's more bothered about is bringing back older weapons. Like, just bring back the identical weapon, and then you have to grind out that same god roll again. Kind of like they did with Gnawing Hunger and some of the other weapons.
I think that's what they'll do too, because that's what they did in D1.
Yeah.
Because I remember I had a god roll hopscotch, but when it got brought up, you had to then regrind for it again.
Yeah, man, if they're gonna bring back older weapons, they should just make it so that your older weapon is good. Kind of like what they did with the armor. Like, we know they can do it. They did it with the armor.
Yep.
Yeah,
but they're probably thinking that eliminates a lot of the grind, so that hurts the content. And since bounties are getting nerfed, I mean, there already goes a majority of our content.
Bounty's getting nerfed. That's a good one.
So yeah, I definitely, if they're gonna bring back some of the, especially when we see like some of the older raids make a return, and we still, like, I don't think, like, I think we'll definitely see Leviathan Eater inspire back into the game. I don't know when.
I think we might see Leviathan again faster than we'll see the raid layers.
Because it kind of goes back, we talked about this a while ago with the potential rumor of the new engine being put into Destiny, because that's when that ghost perk got disabled. Oh, you remember that?
Yep. Yep.
So maybe a lot of this move is to free up, because I'm assuming it's going to be a lot easier to kind of slowly add the content back into it if there is a new engine, instead of having it all up front on Beyond Light launch. Once again, this is a crazy rumor. I don't know if we'll see a new engine. Maybe we'll see some type of new update to their engine.
Yeah, and we know for a fact that some influencers know what's going on because of the whole kerfuffle with, what was it, Aztecross?
Yeah.
Was it him?
Well, like, remember. Yeah.
It kind of, like, he said stuff that we thought we already knew, but apparently we didn't.
Yeah, because he basically said, like, a lot of the old content, like, he was more talking about, like, the destinations, on how Bungie is then basically removing them to kind of, like, recode them.
Yeah, and the thing that, like, got everyone up in arms, or not up in arms, but, like, excited about it was that he says, hopefully I'm not breaking NDA saying this. And it's like, wait, what? Hang on a second here.
Yeah, and I think on his side point, like, if you're gonna say that, just don't even post the video, type deal. Like, some, like, I mean, it'd be different between, like, you and I, like, saying, like, this is what, like,
if we're in private, gonna do.
Yeah, like, this is, like, because we have no, like, I mean, I haven't talked to Bungie, so I don't know. And I kind of thought, like, this is kind of like, we kind of already knew this type thing.
Right.
Like, there is some type of reason for them to kind of remove some of this content. And we kind of brought up, like, they're going to just kind of recode and rework some of the destinations and then bring them back. I think some of them will be tied to seasons, and I think some of them will be just brought back just later on, free to all players.
Yeah, and then it seems like our communities is talking about the different raids and stuff, like Menagerie going away and Tribute Hall, which we've talked about, and we said we want a Tribute Hall, or a version of that in Beyond Light. Could be anywhere, even the farm.
Yeah, it kind of just blows my mind, like, that the farm is still gonna be there.
Right?
Like,
it's not even useful anymore because, like, new players go to the tower. They don't go to the farm.
And then with Outbreak going away, you don't need to go to the farm.
And they're removing the story content too, right? So you can't like, there's no reason to go to the farm at all. So I'm wondering if they're just going to rework that to make the farm the new, like, shooting range type of thing.
Like, to me, like, this is, like, really just Beyond Light is Destiny 3 in a way. Like, without having Destiny 3, like, a thing.
Well, I told you what I wanted from Beyond Light was a Destiny 2 type, like, amount of content. And so you're saying this is, like, basically Destiny 3 is making me hopeful about that? But again, this is just a guess.
Yeah. Like, just with how everything's going. And I do know that they are, like, reworking, like, the New Light story missions. Like, you're supposed to have, like...
It's supposed to be more like D1.
Yeah, kind of.
That's why they have the Cosmodrome there.
Yeah.
And I do think Venus will come eventually, or if it's not in Beyond Light, it's definitely coming because of Vault of Glass.
VOG. Which then will give us our 4th raid, and VOG is definitely probably, it's my favorite raid, and it might be, it'd be tough. I don't know if it's better than Last Wish. but it gives us another Last Wish type raid to play with being at current power instead of being.
What do you think? Are you think
above?
When they do Worlds First for that, are they gonna? I don't know how they're gonna handle that because it's already been done.
I mean, I know they kind of talked that there's going to be some changes into it. I don't know if we'll see a World's First for it. I'm sure we will. Like, the community will make it a thing.
Yeah. It's the D2 version.
Yeah.
Contest modifier. Let's go.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, like, what type of, like, adjustments they make into VOG and what, like, how it compares to D1 VOG. At least this is going to be in 60 FPS for some. Actually, for a lot, probably, because by that time, a lot of people probably be on the next-gen consoles, if you can find them. I think what else? Because we know we're getting 2 more strikes later on. Because how many strikes were we losing? We were losing, like...
We're losing like 5 or 6, something like that.
Yeah, because we're losing, what, 2 on Titan?
There's only 1 on Titan.
1 on Titan.
There's 2 on Io. There's
okay,
2
on
there's
Io.
2 on Mars, and there's 2 on Mercury.
So 7.
Yeah.
And as of right now, we know of we're getting 4.
Yeah, but I don't really count all of them as 4 because it's just like, the older strikes.
True.
There's going to be a lot of people here that are going to be pissed off because it's just a bunch of old content coming back, and I can understand that completely. But having a lot of people that have not played
But these are also probably the... Yeah, exactly. But these are also the same people that would probably go out and buy
Beyond Light
remastered
anyways.
version. Well, no, they would probably go out and buy a remastered version of D1.
Yeah.
Like, so you're kind of getting, like, the best deal because a lot of that content you probably would love to go back and replay because some of those strikes were just so good back in D1 are now coming into D2 and you don't have to worry about buying a remastered version of D1. But I mean, I also understand, like, it is kind of recycled content, and Bungie is known for doing that.
The king of recycled content.
But then you also said there's a lot of people that haven't played a lot of those strikes, and there's a lot of people that haven't played a lot of the D1 raids. And I think having, like, a cycle, or hopefully we see, like, VOG stay after the season when it releases, so then we could have, Last Wish, VOG, Garden, King's Fall, hopefully, like, Crota, we get a nice variety like we do now, but just with much better raids. Because, like, Leviathan's a fun raid, but it's just kind of like, it's nowhere near a D1 raid. Same thing with Eater and Spire. Which, I mean, Spire at least holds challenging because, like, of the mechanics. So, like,
it's only challenging because of the modifiers. That's it.
Well, I'm just talking about just in general.
Yeah.
Like, but that Prestige, yeah, it's a pain in the butt.
Like, on normal, it's not that hard.
Yeah. And then, really, like, the only raid that's, like, comparable to, like, a D1 raid is Last Wish. So, and, like, Garden of Salvation's fine. Like, I like Garden of Salvation, but, like, I feel like it's too easy up until, like, maybe you get to boss.
Yeah.
So, it would be kind of cool to, like, replace some of those raids, and then we get whatever the new raid is. Hopefully, it's comparable to, like, a Last Wish, and then you get VOG, King's Fall. And then Crota, I would say, is comparable to, like, a Leviathan. Like, Crota is, like, a 6-man strike.
So Gideon also says in our Discord here, he feels like Bungie's playing a little too close to the chest, given the current sentiment of the community and the way everyone is feeling at the moment, which I agree with. Like I mentioned that earlier, they need to show more of their hand to get us back into it, and they'll probably do that in October.
Yeah, I think October will be the month. Like, as I said, Bungie's the king of hype.
They might do it a couple of weeks before the release, so...
Yeah,
End of October.
They know how to hype people up more than any studio I know. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think we'll definitely get some more stuff from Bungie on what, in terms of story and other content, and I believe that there's going to be secrets that we're going to find out later on after all of this is done, once, very similar to Forsaken. I don't know if we'll get another destination. I think that would be huge if we did. Something similar to, how Forsaken did it with Dreaming City. I don't really know the lore behind a lot of this, so
behind what?
Just the Beyond Light content,
oh yeah.
So I can't really be this is what's going to be the next step.
Well, the things that we know is happening is it's the House of Dark basically, and the Deepstone Crypt, which is going to be the Exo stuff, and Clovis Bray, stuff like that. It'll probably lead into. Ooh, what if Anna Bray's the handler for that?
I mean, she is coming to the tower.
Yeah. That could be fun. Then also 801, she's a Exo. Maybe she can get involved somehow.
I thought they were removing her.
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with her. But she's still in the tower though, right?
For now, but yeah. I thought with Beyond Light, I thought they were going to remove her.
I have no idea. So you want to get into the questions then?
Sure, we can. I think we have 2, 3, 4. We have 5 of them, or basically 4, because one of them's kind of
do you want me to read them, or do you want to read them?
You can read them.
Okay.
I'm pretty out of it today. So
okay. So what can Bungie do to keep players satisfied with Beyond Light, with most likely a net negative when it comes to content to play? I.e., what do you think could make up for the vaulting without adding extreme amounts of content? That's a tough question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting on you.
The biggest thing would just be kind of how to keep players going is just loot that people desire.
Yeah, for example, this week, the Lake of Shadows, double rewards has been a pretty big motivator for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Especially with helping people get their Masterwork gear heading into the next season.
So, because I even remember, for one, don't tie a quest line to the raid exotic. Make that just an RNG drop. And going back to my D1 days, people grinding out for, I know King's Fall ship was a big one. People would just hop into King's Fall just to try to get that ship, and I think it had a 5% chance of drop rate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a loot shooter, so if it has good loot with a fun activity, people are gonna keep playing. Now, if you're in the stake that we are now, and we're kind of already seeing that we're getting adept weapons for trials, which is huge. I believe we're getting adept weapons for Grandmaster, if I read that correctly last week.
Yeah, it's coming in. It's coming later in the year though.
Which is huge. Because like realistically, there isn't a reason to do Grandmaster other than for the seal.
Yeah.
So to actually have a reason to grind Grandmaster is big. To have a chance to have like adept weapons, which seems like there could be a potential to strike specific loot being added into the game.
Yeah, well, we see a glimpse of that with the mod, right? Like that's specifically for Vanguard strikes, or Vanguard strikes.
Yeah. So I mean that's big. As much as like it sucks to see like a lot of content going away, in terms of like raids and destinations, it could really help them out in terms of seasonal content. Now, the only issue that I could see Bungie having or doing with this is tighten our IO to the season pass to where it's not available to seasonal players, even though it was purchased.
I don't think they're going to do that. I think destinations are always going to be open.
So, and I hope so. So I could definitely like see a lot of the, and I said this earlier in the podcast, a lot of this content coming back, and this could really help out with like in terms of seasons, because you would see certain destinations come back, and hopefully that there are some changes and it looks a little bit different and more reasons to kind of go and explore IO. Titan, maybe some of the strikes are then reworked. We do know that they talked about the current dungeon is leaving because they are doing some type of like way on how loot is distribute between their activities. So maybe once again we kind of see strikes kind of get some love, and they get like certain armor and certain weapons to be able to drop. Because I mean, I remember myself grinding out Omnigul for a Grass of Malik for hours. I remember watching Triple Wreck while he was trying to grind out for a God Roll Grass of Malik for God. I don't even want to know, and I don't even think he wanted to admit how long he was trying to grind out that strike for. I mean, in the Destiny community, it was worded as 2 blues. For you OG peeps out there. So if you tie loot to activities that people desire, I mean, that's going to keep the community happy. And that's something that we don't really have right now. Like, there isn't. Menagerie is probably the best thing in terms of having, like, weapons tied to an activity, but it's so simple to get because you just basically slot your runes and, like, you're gonna basically get what you want.
You think they're gonna go back to a more RNG based thing? Because we've been seeing a lot.
Yeah, I think they will.
We've been seeing a lot more of the stuff where it's like you focus something into being either this or this. Like this season, specifically, I think this is the farthest they've ever gone.
Yes.
Other than Menagerie, because Menagerie you can just get whatever you want.
Yeah. And like they from this season they've done a fantastic job. I think a lot of the weapons that they've added are good, especially the exotic, because the exotics are like really good. There for a while I was really kind of like, we would get a new exotic and I was just kind of like, why is this gun exotic? Just for it to be exotic or what? And I think this season they've really stepped up their game with the exotic weapons, and hopefully like continues into Beyond Light. Trying to think.
Totally, yeah. And I'm right there with you with the strikes. They need to bring back the loot specific strikes.
And we do know that like cosmetic not weapons, cosmetic things in terms of like ghost and ships are going to be tied to the activity and not Eververse.
Yep.
And once again, going back to when I brought up Kingsfall and people grinding out trying to get the ship. I can't even remember what the ship's name was, but it was super cool looking. Could also help just a reason to hop into that raid because I want this ship. Like, the ship looks cool. Like, so instead of
a lot of the stuff
I have to go and play.
A lot of the stuff that our clan uses is earned also, like from the Black Armory stuff, the ship and the Sparrow. Aldrin really likes that ghost shell, so he's been using that. The stuff from Last Wish, like the Harbinger, or not the Harbinger. I think it is actually called Harbinger's Echo. The Sparrow.
I think so.
The Taken one. It's really cool. There's just a lot of really good stuff that's earnable in game in the past, and they went away from it, and it's great to see them come back to it. Playing the game to get good loot and good cosmetics. Who knew that would be a good way?
So yeah. So like their biggest thing is they need to have a select few of items that are really desired by the community, and they need to put certain weapons in certain categories. So you need to have something, I think, in terms of your Crucible playlist. There needs to be a certain weapon in Crucible that only drops in Crucible. Same thing in terms of a strike, Grandmaster Nightfall, and then obviously with the raid. I think the raid needs the most loved out of all that, but
yeah, the raid for the past year. Oh, it's only been one raid, but it's not been great.
Yeah. So if they can do that and they can give us, a small sample of weapons to go out and desire, and then a bunch of just average, good,
like there was
shitty weapons.
There was no Sparrow or
kind of
Ghost or anything for the last raid, right?
No. Yeah. Not for guard. Nope. You had a god awful shader.
Yeah.
And I think another thing to kind of go back to is to eliminate. They need to go back to on how prestige mode was back in the day. And eliminate the stupid I'm gonna lock your loadout BS and just make it more challenging. Like, don't handicap.
Are you talking about the Nightfall stuff?
I'm talking about like raids.
Wait,
like on how they used to have prestige raids back in.
Oh, you mean okay? All right, you mean the prestige mode that they have now?
Yeah,
Levy, where it's locked. Okay.
Yep. And it needs to kind of, and it even you could go and basically make prestige mode contest mode, which will then cap your power. I'm completely cool with that, but don't cap or don't lock my loadout.
Yeah.
I felt like that was kind of like an odd way to make something challenging, and I think it really hurts people who are trying to do, like raid carries for people. And once again, I think at that point, I think you would tie like maybe a shader, a chance to drop like a raid shader dropping only in prestige. Like maybe you have a normal raid shader, then you have a prestige raid shader, which they did in D1. So
I like the prestige raid shaders in Leviathan raids. Pretty good. So let's move on to the next question. We kind of went off topic there, but that's all right. What kind of new playable race would you guys like to see in the future? It's weird to see like playable race because there's not a whole lot of races out there.
I don't know if he's talking about in terms of like race or just like another Guardian.
What do you mean?
like have a fourth guardian. So
Oh
like
no, I think he means race,
type.
like fall, like obviously everyone's saying fallen because of Mithrax and his House of Light. So like I wouldn't mind seeing that. That'd be cool. But other than that, like there's not a whole lot of races in Destiny when you think about it. There's humans, Exos, the Awoken, Fallen, Hive, Taken. Imagine playing as a Taken. That'd be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And Scorn. I can't remember what else there is. If there is another. Oh, Vex. Yeah. Can't forget about the Vex.
Right?
But then, like, there's no other evidence of other races out there.
Yeah, not that I know of. I mean, I'm sure Lord Daddy Bife might have something out there.
But... you know what they should bring back? They should bring back the... Oh, God, I forgot the name of it. But the people that... the people that, like, from the beginning of time... not the beginning of time, but... the people that the Hive fought at the beginning. And then eliminated everybody. And then, like, bring back a couple guys. It's like, oh, they weren't extinct after all. We found a few.
Actually, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay, I've read lore recently, so.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong.
No.
Like, I just, I don't.
The Hive exterminated tons of races in the past, so if they could find some of those and bring them in, I'm trying to find an answer for this question, Ari.
No, yeah, you're fine. I'm sure they could easily make some type of race. I feel like. Come back, and I don't know if we'll see that in Beyond Light, but what I would even think. I don't really have an answer to that question.
Yeah, that's my answer. An extinct race that we thought was extinct because of the Hive, and they came into our solar system, tracking them down for revenge. So we can have that. Quam asked us, do you think there will be a new enemy type? Which we talked about, or do you think there will be one that we know? The one that I think it was the one that in the video that he sent us was the Veil, which is what we knew, right?
Yeah, but because that's not confirmed for Beyond Light, that's just speculation.
No, it's all speculation.
I wouldn't be surprised if we do, just because. I want to bring this up. So, remember when the first major leak for this dropped?
For Beyond Light?
Yeah, but it wasn't called Beyond Light. I don't remember what it was fucking called. And you didn't think there was any chance this was right?
I don't remember what it was.
And like,
what was it?
It was literally what we're getting in Beyond Light. We're getting, a new subclass, which was like Frozen, which is stasis.
Oh, okay.
And
I need to go back and listen to some old episodes.
Yeah, because you said there was no chance this was right, and because it was basically saying like it was Forsaken size content, and you were like, no, and it was new subclass. It was I'm pretty sure that he mentioned Aramis was going to be the boss.
Oh, wait. No. Okay, so I think I remember. You're talking about the 4chan thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That, like, I didn't say, like, none of it was going to be right. I just said that, like, this was all speculation from stuff that we can guess about where the season's going. So, like, literally anybody could have made that and posted it.
And a majority of that stuff is right.
I think just the subclasses were right? That was it?
No, and he said Europa.
Was it Europa or Enceladus, they said?
I'm pretty sure it was Europa.
Okay. I think
I'll have to go back and look, but
it was just stuff that they pulled from things.
And I remember that, and I remember he mentioned the Veil being the new subclass, or not the new subclass, but like a new enemy type.
They also said that the raid was going to be on the Darkness ship, and that was going to be a new destination after we cleared it out. which is completely false. I remember that.
Sure.
And then also the new race was going to be the Veil, which is going to be on the Darkness ships, which we haven't seen yet. It seems like that Darkness ship that's on Europa has been cleared out already by Aramis, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But like half of that stuff was just pulled from like bike videos, in Myling games. Like I could have made that post myself, honestly.
But you didn't.
But I didn't. No,
you would have been famous.
Yep. I could have been that guy that we don't know.
But obviously, yeah, we're gonna get a new enemy.
Okay. What's one thing that you want to see in Beyond Light that hasn't been announced yet? The destination that's definitely going to be there that hasn't been announced yet.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're just going off.
I don't.
Guesses.
I don't know what. I mean, I would like to see like.
I'd just like to see more story stuff. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are we actually doing? Are we just storming the Darkness ship and then that's it? Or are we going there and then we get fucked up and then we have to go to the Cosmodrome because someone's there or something?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
More quality of life changes. Emote wheel.
Oh, emote wheel for sure. That's like guaranteed one.
Shaders getting completely reworked.
Shader system.
I would like to see like vendors become like useful again. Have like rotating vendor stocks.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see our inventory increased on our characters instead of 9, maybe like 12 or 15 that we can carry.
I would like to see transmog.
Well, we're getting transmog.
Yeah, I would like to see it though. Yeah. My vault is still full, man. Like I'm using my postmaster as a vault now.
There's just a lot of, I would say, a lot of quality of life things because like that can really like make a game enjoyable. I talked about it earlier in the podcast. Strike specific loot could do a lot of good things, and continue to make exotics. Not like what they were there towards the beginning of Shadowkeep.
And I think that was the last question. So that's going to be it for us today. It's a bit of a long one, but good one. Solly, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Sully__games.
And you can follow us here at charshot.com for audio, video, written content. I'm going to be on Justin's stream later this evening. He's going to be playing Halo 2. We're going to finish that game. You can check it out at Zero Score on Twitch. And you can email me, Thomas at charshot.com. If you want to be a guest on one of those shows, let me know. And until then, Guardians, eyes down.